Okay, and good morning, everyone. I want to first thank Brother Lemon, Brother Neil, Brother Young, Brother Cortez, and all the brothers of the Now Church of Christ for giving me an opportunity to speak to you today. So to all of you, I am Sister Audrey. To the professional world, I'm Dr. B or Dr. Blundstrom. And to my husband and everybody else, I'm Mrs. Audrey Blundstrom. So I want to acknowledge my husband right now, Brian, who's with me today. And I want to publicly say that I could not do some of the things that I do professionally and to the church and all the things that I try to do to help people if it weren't for my husband. Because as you know, you must have somebody in your corner who supports what you're doing. And I have to say that my husband, Brian, supports everything that I do for the church and everything else. So I just want to thank him for all of his support. He's my panel today, too, so he's going to be passing some things out to you all. Okay, so I was asked to talk about spiritual health and fitness post-pandemic, if we can say post-pandemic right now. That's okay. We're working this out. It's going to be okay. So I want to, we were talking last Sunday, and Melinda mentioned some things about credibility. We were like, man, can we talk about that? Can we talk about this? So I decided to share a little bit about me based on my bio, and hopefully that establishes my credibility to speak today. First and foremost, I'm God's child, and that's all the time. And with that, I'm a member of the Church of Christ, as you all know, and I have been for over 40 years. I kind of played with the number because I didn't want to give my age away, because I say over 50 years. So, but I've been a member of the church over 40 years. I have studied communication in the United States Air Force back in 1985 and served as a ground radio operator. I've been working in education in various capacities, and some of those do include me being an English teacher, a school principal, and as of now, I am a regional program administrator for 4 high schools in Chicago. Hold a few degrees in English, educational leadership, and most recently a doctorate in educational leadership. I'm a certified personal trainer. I'm a certified bodybuilding specialist, certified youth, senior, and lifespan coach, and an International Federation professional bodybuilder, but I'm retired right now, so so just a little bit about me. I like to set some norms when I hold sessions, which I'm sure you guys do as well, and I want us to remember while we're in this space that God is always first, because we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for God. So everything that we do, we discuss today, is definitely putting God first. I ask that we keep a positive tone. I ask that we are engaged and present. Sometimes our cell phones distract us or other things distract us, and we miss things that the presenter is actually saying. So we want to make sure within this space that we are engaged and that we are present. I ask that we're collaborative. There's going to be a few activities that we're going to do today that hopefully involves some collaboration and hopefully involves some of our couples that's in the room today. And I want us to always remember, sometimes people forget that in Christ and in the church, we can still have fun, and it's all right. It is all right to have a good time. It is all right. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? So what brings us here today, and hopefully won't bring us together the next time we come together? COVID-19, which we already know that the 19 stands for the year 2019, when this deadly virus began to take rampant all over the country, and then all over the world. At first, we thought it was an epidemic, just in China. And then it began to spread and it became a worldwide pandemic. And so today, we're going to be discussing some things to help us come out of that pandemic so that we can get back to some type of normalcy and go back to serving God the way we were used to serving God. But it also has brought a lot of devastation. And some of that devastation involved over 670,000 deaths. Just in our country. Just imagine what those numbers are worldwide. And for me personally, the first firefighter who died in Chicago was someone I grew up with. Someone from high school, someone from my neighborhood. I lost a security guard in one of my schools. He was the second person that I lost. And then the third person was the first police officer in Chicago who died. He was married to a friend of ours who is a power lifter, and her husband was the first police officer to die. So it's been quite devastating for my fitness family, it's been quite devastating for my personal family, and it's been quite devastating for my school family. Just as all of you too. I'm sure you had some devastation with the deaths in your lives. So for those of us who are still standing from the pandemic, there's some results that we're actually dealing with right now. Some of those results, it's hard for me to see that, so I'm going to try to read off my paper here. Some of those results include stress and anxiety. We talk a lot about this in our Bible class with Brother Lemon over the past months. Depression, loneliness, social distancing. We weren't meant not to be near each other. You know, I love all of you all on Zoom, but I feel much better when I see you in person. Quarantine 15, if you don't know what that means, is there's some research that is showing that the average amount of pounds gained during the pandemic is labeled as quarantine 15. And then there's some other research that shows that men have gained 37 pounds. There's some other research that's showing that some women have gained 22 pounds. And then we also know that there's been some domestic violence and some domestic issues that have come out of the pandemic also. So these are some of the results that the rest of us and our friends and our loved ones and our church members and our colleagues are dealing with. So I'm hoping today to give you a few action steps, because once you identify a problem, you must solve the problem, right? We can't leave the problem where it is. We gotta have a solution, so we must be solution oriented. So I'm hoping today to bring you some action steps to sort of counter those. Will I give you all the solutions? No, I don't have all the solutions. But we talked in Bible class a few months ago about building a toolkit. So part of coming up with solutions is building a toolkit so you can go back to it, back and forth. So you can say, man, I remember we talked about such and such in our session. Let me go look, and I know that's in the toolkit. Let me go find it in the toolkit to help me with what I'm dealing with right now. So that's what I'm hoping for today, not just for my session, but the other sessions to come.